Hey everyone, this is Tutor Brian. I'm doing a video about one tip I find useful for writing essays. To convey my point, I'm going to use this model of what I call a reverse pyramid, which means just starting broad and then working your way down to narrowing it to a specific point. Now the tip is, when it comes to starting the essay, sometimes you may not be sure how to start. You may not be sure how you're going to come up with your main point. So usually you get some type of guideline. So once you get that guideline, start by working broad. So come up with a few resources that you like to use, because most likely you would have to draw from some either textbooks, books, or sources off the internet, etc. And so just come up with a few resources. So that's the top of the reverse pyramid, and then sift through those resources until you find evidence that helps you with your main point. And you may not know what your main point is in the beginning, but as you sift through your resources, you start to see maybe some relationships between all the evidence that you're pulling, and seeing like a trend start to come into fruition. So maybe then you can start to think of main points that you can create from those resources. So let me show you some examples from my own experience. Now, I've been given a template from professor to write an essay, and where I start is I pull some resources I want to use, a lot of textbooks and books from the library, and I list them. And this is just the code the library uses so I can find the books on the shelves. And I list the resource I want to use, and then from there I write it up, then type it up, the resources I want to use, and then I go through the resources and then write up important quotes that may help me, that I can think will be used in my essay, and then I type up those quotes. So this is one example. A book, I list the quote, page number, and you can use the side margin to write different ideas for main points, like where it can fit together with your big plan. So here's some more list of quotes, page number, important topics on the side that relate the quotes. And then from there, you can start to come up with your different main points. Look what I wrote, like free market economics, science and technology, meritocracy, pragmatism. So just some main points, and then start to condense it down even further. Remember the reverse pyramid model, start from broad, become more specific, and then I eventually came up with the layout of how I wanted to write my paper, starting with my main point. And here's just a bunch of notes I've taken. I worked really diligently on this paper, and eventually, let's just fast forward a little bit. Eventually I got to my main paragraph, and it began with my main point is somewhere in this paragraph. I wrote it out, and then from there I type it up, and by then I should have my main point already established, and using the supporting evidence that I've gathered to create an essay that builds off of my main point, which is probably in this first paragraph somewhere. And that's it, basically. So in conclusion and in review, the tip I have for writing essays is start broad, become more specific. That reverse pyramid model can be used later, but in regards to this tip, I want to say just get some resources that you want to use. This is a textbook or a book, for example, that I wanted to include, and find quotes from the book that can help with some ideas that you're working with. Then list out the quotes from each of the different resources you have, and try to find some points where they match together. And then from there, try to come up with like a main uniting point that connects each of the resources and the quotes from the resources that you pulled. But I mean, obviously you're going to have to condense it down, so find some reoccurring themes, something that ties each of the quotes together, and then from there craft your introduction, which includes your main points that you're trying to convey. And from there, you can start writing the body paragraphs. Thanks for watching, and I hope this tip helped you or helps you.